Hey guys, Brian Stevens here along with Frank Array, and this is the National Real Estate Post. Want to let you know that if you're using MI right now, if you're not using MGIC, you're probably paying too much.
Yep.
Check out their rates and all their wonderful programs by clicking this banner right over there. Now, on with our show. We're having a more casual approach today, well, because half of our office is either sick or at jury duty, so we said, what the hell?
Why not?
We'll just kick back.
Yeah.
So, one thing I want to talk to, because Super Tuesday is right around the corner.
Right.
It really looks like Hillary Clinton is going to be going up against Donald Trump.
Sure.
I think more so for this election than ever in my lifetime, it's going to be the year of the anti-vote.
Yeah, it's true.
Because so many people dislike Hillary Clinton that they'll vote for anybody but her.
But her, right.
Donald Trump is the same way.
Right.
So many people don't like him, they'll vote for anybody but him. It's the year of the anti-vote, and I don't know how this whole thing's going to go.
I'm going to go with a completely different angle.
What's that?
I'm going to go on, like, who the potential first lady would be. I mean, that's what I'm going to go for. I mean, think about it. Who do you want to have as your first lady? Do you want to have this person? Or do you want to have this person? The thong-clad, gun-slinging supermodel on the wing of an airplane.
A silver gun nonetheless.
You know what? That's who I'm going for, man. I like that a lot better. It makes it easier to decide, don't you think?
Oh, goodness.
And some would say, hey, well, she's not American. But you know what? She gets us. That picture screams USA.
All right. So speaking about the candidates, on Mortgage Shots, we did a video a couple of days ago that stirred it up a little bit online.
Right.
We had a chance to have a conversation with David Stevens, the president of the Mortgage Bankers Association, about the nature of the video. If you haven't seen it, you can click down below to check it out. But basically, it was a town hall meeting where Hillary Clinton made accusations that lending in nature is bigoted, possibly racist, that type of thing.
Correct.
So anyways, here's what Dave Stevens had to say about the video. Cue it up.
Yeah, the funny thing is we've been trying for months now to get any of the candidates to talk about housing, and we finally got it. Just wasn't the way we wanted it. As I think most of you are aware, Secretary Clinton actually put out a formal housing platform, which is the first of any presidential candidate to do so. Unfortunately, during the process, when you're running for office and you got all these issues going on, you're running to be president of the United States, you don't necessarily spend a whole lot of time in the details. You're looking for policy positions that can strike a chord with the base that you're trying to get to support you. She certainly did that. Look, if you look at the Federal Reserve Bulletin that came out in November of 2015, it's a bulletin available on the internet, and it covers the HMDA data that was reported for the year 2014. And in there, it just gives, in the tables, the denial rates for all the various ethnicities for purchase transactions. A lot of other tables in there as well, but that's one of the tables. And, technically she's right. Denial rates for minorities are higher than denial rates for white non-Hispanics. Unfortunately, what she fails to look at is the why question. So FICO distribution, relative down payment. I mean, that was a large Latino audience in that town hall, and the individual asking the question was Hispanic. For the Latino community, that's a younger demographic. White non-Hispanics are older, so you tend to have more equity, more cash as you get older, so you can put larger down payments down. So if you look at the first-time home buyer populations today, a lot more Hispanics, fewer white non-Hispanics. And so when you look at purchase transactions over the last year, whites had bigger loan balances, larger down payments. Hispanics are a lot of the first-time homebuyer population. It is a demographic problem at the outset, but there's also a difference in her comment about African-American borrowers' denial rates. FICO scores, unfortunately, tend to be lower for various demographic groups over others. So when you isolate for those elements, you eliminate a lot of those differences that she failed to cover in a simple data point coming from a HMDA database, most likely from the Federal Reserve. The other thing I would just say, Brian, is it was interesting, the follow-up question that individual, if they watched your video that you posted, followed up with, I just went through a loan application. It was really hard. It took forever. And she said, we're going to stop that too and make lenders make it easier on you. We'd love her help. We're all living in a world where the qualified mortgage rule requires us to do a whole lot of things that eliminate any opportunity to use judgment. And if you're a self-employed borrower, you have any kind of story to tell about your life, we all know how hard it is to get that loan approved and how much additional documentation is used. We've gone from a period where, well before the recession and before all the crazy loan products, we were able to actually use common sense and judgment to decide what was a good borrower. Unfortunately, the bad period that led to the housing recession has resulted in rules that don't allow that anymore. We've lost our way. We need to somehow find a way to get back where we can provide more creditworthy borrowers loans without worried about, legal interference or False Claims Act violations or enforcement acts from an agency. We have a long way to go there. But yeah, unfortunately for that statement, she's right, but she's also wrong, and it's where the detail matters. We're going to work closely to get that information to her campaign, and we've been back and forth with some of her campaign staff already today on the subject.
But what was implied there is that they weren't getting loans, or loans are more difficult because of their ethnicity, and that statement alone is patently wrong. I mean, and if we had a large Hispanic community there who was at this town hall, it felt to me like it was a little politically expedient. And when you have that type of vitriol, it becomes very divisive in nature, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. And you and I have talked about this. And look, the political landscape, all the candidates are appealing to the base that they think needs to be elected. I was watching an interview with Donald Trump this morning on, I forgot, one of the news shows. And they were asking if he's going to soften his tone and become more thoughtful in his responses. And he replied with something like, I will probably do that at some point. But right now, as I march to try to win the nomination of my party, the audience seems to like what I'm saying, so I'm going to stick with it. And in that regard, I think what you get out of any of the candidates at this point in time is rhetoric that appeals to what they consider to be their base. And I think for Senator Clinton, particularly when she's up against a Bernie Sanders, who is clearly very populist, really vitriolic against Wall Street and the financial services industry, she's having to veer in that direction. Whether she believes it or to that extreme, we will find out further as we go forward. But there is politics at play here, and I think, unfortunately, that makes us all a little ill that this process is occurring. But it's divisive. But nevertheless, I think that's part of what was in that dialogue in that speech.
Again, who would you rather have? This guy? Or this gal? She's actually got huge credentials, amongst other things. I'm serious. I don't know. I think it's fascinating.
You think Bill Clinton's jealous?
Probably.
He's got a track record.
Anyway, you guys, thanks for tuning in. Leave us your comments down below about what Dave Stevens had to say or anything else you'd like to talk about. Forward, share, and subscribe for in the upper right-hand corner. We'll catch you later here at the National Real Estate Post.
Bye.
Bye.